All right, let's get started. Good evening or good morning, everyone. Welcome to the winter first series of Mind Treasures ABCs of Wealth. We are coming to the Mind Treasures team is coming to you from United States, from the Southern California, United States. We're very happy to have you guys here. The sessions will be recorded, so if anyone misses any part of the session, we will, as soon as the recording becomes available, which is usually like the next day, we will send a link so you can see what you might have missed during the workshop. So we're going to be covering a lot of uh, topics together over the next 12 weeks. I'll start with a quick overview of Mind Treasures and what our program is about, our history. Tonight is mostly about getting to know each other and showing you some of the technical aspects that we use throughout our program. So that's what we're going to be doing in this session in here. If you have any questions, any difficulties, please put it in the chat. My chat is open and I will be able to respond. But we will have a conversation dialogue. We will even have a breakout session where, depending on how many people we have here, we'll get even a more chance to get to know each other. Mind Treasures, we are a nonprofit organization or NGO, as known in other parts of the world, established in 2006 in United States. Our main programs are currently being offered at public primary schools, even though that our program is appropriate for all ages. But we have found that to be the main focus of our program. But then since the pandemic has happened, we're doing more and more these types of virtual series, which are mostly for youth, adults, and families. In the past 15 years that we've been in operation, we've been working with friends in more than 80 countries around the world. Some of them are affiliates. They are utilizing our program, our ABCs of Wealth, and some of them are doing their own program. But we do have a global group on WhatsApp where everybody shares about their experiences, challenges, and everything about financial literacy. This workshop, so far, we have 30 registrations from actually 9 different countries. I just had another one that I haven't added that in there. So we have friends from Botswana, Cameroon, Canada, Ghana, India, South Africa, United States, and Zambia, as well as Indonesia. The age range for this workshop is from age 8 all the way to, I think, in their 60s. So we have youth, teenagers, and adults. And there are 7, maybe 6 family teams that are joining our program currently. So that's what we're doing. As more friends are coming in, just going to go back. I did change your screen name. So if you're just joining us and you haven't seen it, so we know where everybody's from. Put your first name with a dash and then the country, and if you're participating as a team member. So MT is for Mind Treasures. We do have several of our facilitators in this session. And as we will see, each of the sessions will be conducted by one of our facilitators. So if you like, you can change your Zoom screen name so we know where you're coming in from. Just a little background about financial literacy, which has become a global pandemic, even though that not everyone has recognized it, but everyone do realize that finances is something that everyone needs. Every single human being needs to learn about finances. Nobody can say that I do not need to know financial skills. So, and it's regardless of our socioeconomic, geographical, ethnical realities, gender, it doesn't matter. Every single human being does need to have understand at least the basics of finances. It's also regardless of how much money we have. It's really not about those that have a lot don't need to learn about money, or those that don't have as much need to learn more about it. As we will see, we are redefining wealth in many different aspects, not just money. So we'll see that throughout the program. Those that don't have enough can learn how to live within their means. This is something that's very difficult for some people in here, but through this program, we will learn how to manage and utilize our various types of wealth. So development of these skills, financial skills, is extremely important. Part of it is because our children are being born with one of these devices, with a cell phone or a tablet or something, as soon as they're born out of their mother's. Uh, that's what happens. I'm sure everyone has seen that every child these days have one of these in front of their hands, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we do understand that why it's happening in here. Also, while we cannot isolate our children from the environment, from internet, and from everything, but we can teach them from young ages how to try to control their desires, because we are born with these desires and so forth. Our program, one of the things that's very unique about our program, we do not just concentrate, as you will see, we are not just concentrating on the technical aspects of finances, such as banking services, budgeting, credit, and so forth. Those are definitely are included, but we are looking at financial education from the spiritual, psychological, emotional, and technical aspects of the finances. We're trying to, our program has a very strong spiritual foundation. It's not a religious program. As you will see, we have gathered writings from all the major religions around the world, from Buddha's writing, from Quran, from the Bible, from the Baha'i writing, and we know that there is a lot more that we can include in the program as well. So going forward from next week, we will start every session with a with a writing, with a sacred writing from a different religion in here. And we want to make sure that we are not imposing any religion or any belief on anyone. Whoever believes in whatever they do, we are respectful of that. But as we will see, all the sacred writings, they all talk about how we need to align, how we need to harmonize our material and spiritual affairs for those that believe in it. So our program has three distinctive levels in there. We talked a little bit about the spiritual foundation. There is a basic level that includes 10 lessons, but we'll go more into it. And there is an advanced level. The basic level is the foundation, is about character development and how character traits play a role in our finances. And we start everyone with that. So from our program in the primary schools starts from age 8 or grade 3. So that's what we start everyone with. The advanced level is more of technical aspects of finances. That is for ages 14 and up. And for our program here, for this series, we'll be doing a combination of lesson plans from the basic and the advanced level in there. Okay. So one of the things that's really important about financial education is that it's not just about attending workshops. We will learn a lot of topics together, but really ultimately it's about what do we practice in our lives. So there's this old saying that says, what we hear, we will forget. So if I were just talking to you without making this presentation, in an hour or two, you'll definitely have forgotten. I'm talking, you're seeing what I'm presenting, so you remember this. But more importantly, we will really learn when we do things that the topics and assignments that are provided to us. So, and that's why over the past week, since we've been sending out announcements for this program, we've been encouraging everyone to start doing their assignments. So every assignment, you have 1 full week to complete it. Hopefully you don't wait until Friday in the afternoon to complete your assignments, because while they're easy, sometimes they do take a little bit of time, a little bit of thinking of how am I going to complete my assignment? And then ultimately what we practice, we can teach to others. So finances is not something that's been widely provided to population anywhere in the world. There are only a few countries that have actually implemented and made it mandatory for finances to be presented in school. So we have a long way to go. So as we learn, we can also hopefully transfer that and teach other people. Here's the agenda or the syllabus for the next 12 weeks. So today we're going to be doing introduction of each other, and then also everybody hopefully will get a chance to know each other depending on how much time we have. I'll show you a little bit about the technical aspects of how our program works, the worksheet that you have received, and then from next week, we will follow the lesson plans. And then these are the facilitators that so far have been assigned to present each different lesson plan. And you will have access to this, I'll show in the, once I present the workbook too. And let's see, so we're not quite there yet. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing, and then maybe since we're doing good on time, maybe we can have a few friends, if they like to, introduce themselves, where you're from. I know everybody put their screen on what country you're from. If anybody would like to unmute their mic and briefly, like a minute, just introduce yourself, where you're from, and what are you hoping to gain out of this? Ken, I see your hand up. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Ken Kohida. I'm a retired pharmacist from the state of Michigan. I've actually taken about 4 different courses in coaching, various forms of coaching, life coaching, career coaching, ADD coaching. And I got into financial coaching because my mom and dad were fairly wealthy, but they never really sat down and to me and gave me an organized system as to how to handle money, or more importantly, to express your feelings about money. As you probably know, in the United States, 80% of the romantic breakups, be it either boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, typically are due to money. And I'm trying to implement a program where I'll coach the parents through their financial challenges, and also have them work with the children and encourage children to express their feelings about money. And you guys are mind treasures. And before I even knew about you guys, I'm actually calling my company Hidden Treasures, because I believe hidden treasures are, if you can teach a child to communicate about money, and it helps them have a more stable adult life with stronger relationships and stronger marriages, those are hidden treasures right there. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be in this program.
Thank you so much, Ken. That is great. So we get connected in many different ways. All right, can we have someone else? Is there anybody else who would like to volunteer? If you can just unmute yourself, introduce for 1 minute, and tell us why you're here. If not, I'll call on people. Hazel, you have your, so let's have one of our facilitators, Ms. Hazel Robinson, if you'd like to share a little bit with us.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Hazel Robinson. I'm part of Mind Treasures. And it's good to hear that people are wanting to learn about finances. So welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. I actually like to ask Jackie if she doesn't mind, because she's the one who actually from Canada. She's the one who organized this group together. So Jackie, if you'd like to introduce yourself and say a few words, we'll appreciate that.
Okay, thank you, Alex. My name is Jackie. I come from Canada and originally from China. And I like the reason I want to learn this program. One hand, I want to enhance my skill and knowledge about financial literacy. And at the same time, I like to see if I can introduce this program to my local community and make my community kids and youth to have more idea about money and make them to look at money different ways. Yeah, this is why I want to organize this program. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you so much, Jackie. She did a great job of putting the program together. This is how we do these virtual series. What we normally do, if there is either an organization or someone who can organize a group of at least 10 or more, then they come up with the schedule that works for them, the day and the time. And then once we have that set up, then we advertise it to our entire network of affiliates and people who are connected with us, so then everybody can join in here. So I want to go and talk about a little bit of technical parts of the program, and then we'll come back and do more introduction. So we have a change of pace. We're not doing the same thing. So I'm going to share my screen again. So as you have seen, I've really insisted on everyone to make sure that you have the calendar event on your personal calendar. That's one of the things that often we do not utilize. We try to remember things in our head of when we're supposed to do things or where things are and look through emails. So having everything in our calendar really makes, at least it makes my life a lot easier. And as you will see, the majority of our financial affairs really has to do with being on time, being on top of things, and then also being on top. So that's why I always insist on the participants to make sure that they accept the calendar invite, which has the Zoom link and any other information that we need to have in there as well. So the second thing that everyone should have received, we have created one of these worksheets. It's a Google Sheet this is going to be what you will be using. This is your workbook, your online workbook. You will do the assignments. We'll do the presentations from here. We'll give the assignments from here. So want to make sure that everyone did receive a link to it. I know some of the friends were able to log in and begin to do their assignments in their worksheets. To me, it's fairly simple, but I know it could be a little bit overwhelming for a lot of people. So I have learned to, this is actually the first time that as part of the introduction, we are kind of showing how this works. So there are several ways that you can make sure you can easily find your online worksheet. So once you open your worksheet, if you see on the top, there's that little star. And if I click on it, it goes into yellow. So that's like bookmarking. So there are two ways that you can get to your online worksheet very easily. Either bookmark the page, whatever browser you're using, you can bookmark it. Or if you click on the star, it will put it in your drive in a specific location. I should have logged into a different drive, so it's not that crazy here. But this would be like, if I go to drive.google.com. So I end up in this page here. And then on the left-hand side, you see a bunch of different menu items. So if I click on the start, that is where I will see my worksheet. So again, I do have a lot of stuff in here. I apologize. I should have logged into a different account that doesn't have that many. But I will see my facilitator workbook in here. So the best way, again, once you open your worksheet, you click on that little star. If I click on it, it unstars it. When I click on it, it bookmarks it, and then it will show up in here so I can easily find. So I go to drive.google.com, and then it would be under start. Did anybody have any difficulty finding their worksheet? You can either unmute yourself or put a question in the chat. I gotta get my chat up. And you can always ask by email or outside the class. You can ask if you have any issue with this. Let me see. I'm gonna stop sharing just a little bit because I'm getting some echo in here. I wanna make sure. Yeah, all right. Let me do this. Oops. Okay. All right, so going back to the worksheet. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to be, so these are the lesson plans that are listed in each one of our levels. So the basic level, as I mentioned, we start everyone with this grade level, age 8 or grade 3 in public schools. It has 10 lesson plans, and we go through each one of them in the schools about 1 hour per lesson plan in here. And then for those who are over the age of 14, we start with the basic level, and then we continue with advanced material which is mostly about, it gets a lot more technical. Like this is where we start with talking about budgeting in the basic level, but then we really get into it in the advanced level in here. So anytime you need to navigate through the worksheet, basically there are two ways of doing that. So each one of these have a tab inside this worksheet in here. You can get to it either by clicking on the tabs below, or if you click on, so I'm going to click on human treasures, and then a menu pops up, and then once I click on it, it gets me into that tab in there. And the table of content, I can always go back to the table of content by click on this TOC in here, and that will get me back in there. The way the worksheet works, I'm going to get into our first assignment. The way the worksheet works, there are certain cells where you can enter complete your assignment. Like for the example, the first assignment for next week is going to be completing this worksheet. So it's asking, what is the miracle of a single flower? And as I start typing, the system is automatically always saving. I'm going to expand my top navigation in here. So if you look in here, so pay attention to this area on the top here. Right now is blank, but if I do this, it will begin to save on the top. So that's what it's saying. It saves to drive. It automatically saves it as you type. You can always go back and do the back arrow if you made a mistake or something, but there is no button to save this. Unlike Microsoft Word or Excel or anything like that, it is always saving it. And we have access to your worksheet, so we do see the assignments as you complete them. That is how this worksheet works. I want to stop here and see if anybody has any question about the worksheet or how we access the worksheet. If anybody had any trouble getting onto the worksheet, you can unmute yourself and then ask the question, or you can put it in the chat.
Alex, I was having a hard time editing it, and then you said you want it, after we finish it, you want us to forward it to you. Is that correct?
No, you don't have to forward anything. So once, as you type, it gets saved. So it is saved on the network. There is nothing to forward. There's nothing. So as you complete, now the other thing is that where it says like there are the questions or the text, those are locked. So if you try to type in something on a cell that already has text in it, it will not allow you to do it. So if you get an error that says you cannot do this, you're not on the right cell. That's how the program works.
Okay.
You can only type in the designated areas.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sure. All right. Any other questions before we move on? All right. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see. Since we had more friends joining, if anybody else would like to give a little introduction, we have some more friends joining. Anybody else would like to tell us a little about themselves, what country you're dialing in from, and why you joined the program? You can unmute yourself. No volunteers? All right. I can ask one.
I have.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Daniel, and my last name is YU, and I'm 8 years old, and I have this thing, and I live in Canada, in North America. Also, I live in a very small one-floored house. I want to learn how money works.
Very good. It's great to have you here, Daniel. You can leave your microphone unmuted because I got questions for you, if you don't mind. So I believe you are the youngest person. You're the youngest person who is attending in this. What grade are you in? You said you're 8 years old. What grade are you in?
I'm almost 9, so I'm in grade 3.
Okay. Are you going to school physically or are you attending virtually?
Physically.
Oh, physically. Okay. All right. So you can go to school. And who are you attending with? I know that there's someone. Is one of your parents there with you?
Hi, it's me. How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. All right. It's great having you guys here. So Daniel, I got another question for you. Have your parents talked to you about money yet?
What?
Have your parents talked to you about money yet?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay.
Also, we listen to a book about money.
Oh, talk about money. All right, very good. So hopefully you will have a lot more conversation with your parents as we go through the program. Thank you for being here. All right. Ms. Irma, would you like to? She's one of our facilitators, one of Mind Treasures facilitators.
Hello, everybody. I live in Mexico, and I've been a part of the Mind Treasures team for, I think, 3 years, maybe 2 years. And I really love the program because it helps us take a lot of the mystery of managing money. And we learn a lot about great tools, and we encourage people to have conversations about money and budgeting, and how our life, how our human characteristics work in hand with the way we manage money. So it's a really beautiful program. I'm really happy to be here tonight to meet everybody. I'm kind of visiting tonight, but I really enjoy listening to the conversations and the interaction. And I hope everybody enjoys the program as much as we all do.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Irma. Daniel, did you want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Your hand was up. Okay. All right. All right. No problem. So I'm going to actually ask a good friend of mine who's dialing in from all the way on the other side of the world, John from South Africa, if he would like to. We've been working together for quite some time. If John, if you're available to unmute yourself and tell us a little about you. If not, we can come on a little later.
Good morning, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can hear you clearly, loud and clear.
Oh, fantastic. No, thank you so much for the opportunity, Alex, and good morning to everybody.
So John, can you tell us a little bit about your efforts? We've been talking about a lot of different stuff, but what are some of the efforts that you're doing in Johannesburg about financial literacy?
Yeah, financial literacy, as you see on this, on your program already, it starts at a young age, but for me, I think it actually even starts at pre-birth, even before you think about financials. So it's already something that you have to start thinking about before you even have a baby. So it starts a very long time before you even think about your future. So you have to think about you now, and you have to think about future now. You have to also think about your citizens, your community. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do with financial literacy from my perspective, especially coming from a third world country, so to speak. In inverted commas, I'd say. So we have a lot to learn, and things change all the time. So I don't want to take too much of your time, Alex. We can chat a lot.
Sure, yes.
And I'm just here to just listen and just to understand the program a lot better, and just to put it into some of the work that we've been doing on the side as well, with our other business ventures as well, which hopefully will open up to people as we progress further. So yeah, I'm just here to learn and enjoy, and looking forward to meeting everybody too as we progress.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, John. John and I, we spend about hour to hour and a half every 2 weeks on the phone, just talking about different stuff, most of it here. So we're really looking forward to getting the program established in South Africa. Anybody else before I switch and go do some other stuff on the other side? Any brave soul? No, we're good. All right. So maybe in the chat, we can have, if you can type in there, what are some of the specific topics? I know you have put it in the registration form, but what are some of the specific topics that you're looking forward to gaining from this program? It could be anything. And I really want to make sure that our young ones participate in there too. So if you can have in the chat, what are some of the financial topics that you have either a specific question about, or you really like to learn? And we will be doing a lot of different topics in here. So let me see. While you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to switch over here and see. What other ones? All right, so as messages are coming in. Okay, so Kevin says he's 11. He's one of the young members of this group. Is interested in learning how to save and invest. Very good, Kevin. All right. Kevin, who are you dialing? Oh, if you like to unmute yourself, you don't have to if you don't want to, but you can if you like to. And who are you participating in the class with? I know one of your parents is in the class with us.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, all right. And so can you guys introduce yourselves and tell us where you're dialing in from?
Yeah, my name's Yanette Lopez, and this is Kevin, and we're dialing in from San Diego, California.
Oh, right in our hometown. Very cool. All right. Glad to have you guys here. All right. Kevin, what grade are you in?
I am in 6th.
You're in 6th. What school? What school do you go to?
I go to Stanley Middle School.
Stanley Middle School. What part of San Diego is that in? I've heard the name, but
University City.
Oh, University City. Very cool. I don't think we've never been into your school. We've been to a lot of school, but not this school in here. So glad to have you guys here. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. John from South Africa. He says more about shares, please. I assume he's talking about company shares and stocks and things like that. So that's what John is looking forward. So we really need to have everyone's participation. I mean, that is what's going to make this workshop really successful, is a lot of participation. So you will have assignments in here. Oh, let me go back. That reminds me. So let me go show you guys the assignments and the syllabus where you can find. So from the table of content, I'm going to go back in here. There are videos that we will be watching. They're short videos, 4 to 5 minutes videos. Some of these lesson plans have videos in here. And then there is this tab right here. It says course syllabus and assignments. This is where you can see, if you click on that, it will open up another sheet. It will have the entire 12-week program in there. So today we're doing the introduction. Next week will be the faith and finances. It will say who will be facilitating, what are the learning objectives, and then also the activities. Then these are activities in your online worksheet that you'll have to complete. So for example, for next week, we'll talk about a little bit is the initial goals, which is this tab right here. That's what we're going to be completing. Let's see, for the week after, it's about hidden treasures. So we will, so next week, we will present faith and finances. We'll have a discussion about it. And then at the end, we will do a quick introduction about human treasures, and then give you the assignments that you can complete on your own before the following week. I don't know why we're jumping from February 5th to February 26th. I have to fix that. I apologize for that. I just saw it. All right, not the schedule. Let's see. So I'm going to go back to our table of content in here. Let's see. I do have other comments that are coming in. So Ken from US, I think that's the one I missed. Open communication about money and learning to express our feelings about money. That is so true. Oh, I wasn't sharing. Sorry, guys. I was telling you something and I was not sharing my screen. I really apologize. So before I do that, so Ken has a very good topic in here, because finances, I think it's been something that it's maybe taboo. It's not openly talked about. It's not that people are afraid of it. It's just that it has not been an open communication between parents and their youth and their children in the community or even in workplace. What we are going to be learning together is it can even be applied to Miss Hazel. I'm not sure why you're sharing your screen. Miss Hazel, can you stop sharing your screen, please? I think she accidentally, okay, there we go. Thank you. So having that conversation about finances is so important, especially for our parents here. If you have not done it in the past with your children and youth, please start. And we will have some topics that will help you start that communication in there. Let's see. From Jackie, one topic that she would like to learn, how to build good characters from money perspective. As we will see, our character traits play a major role, not only in our finances, but also in all different aspects of life. Let's see, from Daniel, we have that, and I'm in grade 3 in Canada. I want to learn. So Daniel says, I want to learn about how money works and how it makes good use of money. Okay, very good. So I got another question for our parents and for everyone, especially our young ones. So for our young ones, are you receiving allowance? And if you know what allowance is, because that is something that will be heavy work on that. So for our young ones, do you receive allowance from your parents? Usually parents give that. And for our adults, if you can write in chat, if you have a budget, if you have been following, if you have budget in there. So I got a little note that says somebody nominated Paula to talk. Paula, would you like to unmute yourself and tell us who you are? And whether you receive allowance or not. I think Paula is one of our youth, if I'm not mistaken, and she's shy. So you can just put it in the chat. All right, but from adults, how many of the adults have a budget and then actually follow a budget? You can put that in the chat, please. That is something that many people have. It's like they have a fear of creating a budget and following it. While creating a budget is fairly simple, but following that budget is it is quite difficult. I admit it. It's not that easy. So while we're waiting for some responses to come in, I'm going to go back and share my screen and show you what I was talking about. Do this and go back here and now share my screen. All right, so this is what I wanted to show you guys, the syllabus of the program. It's right here. So on the table of content, if you click on that, it will open up this file, which is the full schedule of the entire workshop series. It will have the date, and I just noticed that the dates are not correct. I need to fix that. And it will say what topics we'll be presenting, what are the learning objectives for each lesson plan, and then the assignments. Last series that we were doing, somebody asked if they could have the assignments in advance so they can complete them. So that's what we've done. So every lesson, every session, we will be presenting in a topic. So like today, I will talk a little bit about, in the next 15 minutes or so, last 15 minutes, we'll talk about the idea of faith and finances. You will have an assignment, which is to complete your initial goals. And then once we come back next week, we will go heavy into how our spirituality and finances align together. So this is, again, you can open that, the course syllabus and assignments in here. So that's where that is. All right, so since we're there, let me give you your first assignment for next week. So as we talked about initially, our program has a very strong spiritual foundation. Again, for those who arrived a little later, it is not about imposing any particular religion or any particular spiritual belief on anyone. We have gathered a compilation of sacred writings from the Bible, from the Quran, from Baha'i writings, from Buddha's writing, which they all come together to show us how we need to align our material and spiritual affairs together. We believe that they are very much connected. They're not separate. So your first assignment for next week is completing these questionnaires. And again, if you came in late, remember, you can only type in the gray areas that are highlighted in here. And as you type them in, again, the system will save them automatically. You do not have to submit. You do not have to upload anything. You just put the information in there and it will save it automatically. So you complete all this. There are only a few questions in here. They're very simple. And then if you like, you can click on the, this is the compilation that we will be reviewing next week. This is what I talked about, that we have selected writings from all different major religions. So I encourage you to read them yourself or with your family, and then we'll have a discussion about it next week. So that is your assignment for next week. I'm going to stop sharing. Let's say we have some other. So let me see, where did I stop? I asked who has budgets, and a lot of comments have come in. All right, so Irma says, okay, then you put the question in there. So John says, do budget, however, it is difficult due to unforeseen costs. Yes, that is correct, but that's exactly why we do a budget, because we need to be prepared for unforeseen. Zania from US says that she has a budget. Let's see. Jackie has a budget, sometimes hard to manage. Yes, it's very difficult. But one of the points that we can do, we can use we can engage our youth or our children. They love doing this stuff, I hope, besides playing video games and chatting on Snapchat and Instagram and so forth. So they can help us with budgeting in here. Yanette says, we have a household budget, but I would like to give Kevin an allowance now that he is almost a teen. That's very good. So allowance is something that, and we can talk a little bit about it. Allowance is something that, again, parents give to their children, to their youth. I think most of us adults, I did not have allowance when I was growing up, but then we were not exposed to all these material stuff on constant basis either. So times have definitely changed. When we would go to a supermarket, we would go there to buy food, and that's it. Now these days, you go to supermarket, you can buy everything. Or you're sitting at home and you click a few buttons, and then within an hour or so, or the next day, something shows up at your door. So for us to understand how money works, it's so important in here. Daniel says, I think that money is very important for buying stuff and saving it. Yes, that is very true. Thank you, Daniel. And I really love it that our young ones are participating in this, because that is so important. All right, I'm going to stop here. If anybody else, I know we have several other friends who did not introduce themselves. If anybody would like to unmute themselves or introduce, we have still a few minutes left. Or if there are any particular question for tonight, any of the topics that we've talked about, how to get into your online worksheet, making sure that you get there. If there are any questions.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zania. Through Crystal Stairs, trying to budget more frequently and better. I have a child that's in college, so I have to learn how to budget my money so I can make sure she budget hers.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Zania. Yes, we met, I think it was last week. So Zania is also from Los Angeles, just north of us here. So we'll definitely learn more about budgeting. That is going to be an ongoing, I can actually go back to that. So while we present the topics throughout the program, developing the habit of budgeting and monitoring it, it's going to be very difficult. And that's something that we do offer still at free, no cost, for those who want to work with us after the program, after the 12 weeks. we would be more than happy to work with them to monitor their budget, to help as much as we can, because this education is so important. And it's something that it cannot be developed over a 10-week or 12-week period. It takes a lifetime. So it does take a lot of effort. Let's see, I do have, all right, so we have from Paula, says, I have a $20 allowance every month, and I usually save it. That's very wise. All right. Oh, our friend from Zambia. Thank you so much. Kelly's, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Kelly's and us, we just connected, I think about a week ago. And really, kudos to our friends in Africa. This is what has always amazed me whenever we do an international program. Right now in Africa, in Zambia and South Africa, it's 5:15 in the morning. Actually, it's about 6 a.m. But we have had even friends dial in like 2 o'clock in the morning to participate, to be part of this program. So we are very happy to have you here, and hopefully we learn a lot of stuff together. Daniel saves his allowance. Please do that as much as you can, because as you grow older, you're going to be spending some of your allowance in here. Ms. Irma, would you like to say anything, add anything for our introduction?
Well, for my part, I really enjoy the way that you've laid out the introduction and kind of given us an overview of the program, because it's much easier to reference the overview and make sure that, you know, we're covering the topics, and it just simplifies everything to me. And I really enjoy kind of looking at it kind of from this direction and looking at an overview, because that way in my mind I can see, you know, how it progresses. So yeah, I really think that's a really good way to approach it and start it out.
Very good, thank you. So that actually brings me to another point, is that our attitude is that we're always learning together. There's so much to learn, to be learned, and it's not just because we've been doing this for 15 years doesn't mean we know all of it. We have so much to learn. We're going to learn together. So this introduction was actually as a result of last series, because some of the participants says, Alex, you just kind of throw us in there and expected that we know everything. So it would be good to do an introduction. Fashid, you had your hands up. If you'd like to unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello. I'm from Nevada, and I heard about this through a friend from Reno, and she mentioned that it'll be good for the kids. So I decided to join just to find out some of the questions that I do have. You know, as a parent, it's sometimes tough to decide what to do with money for kids, like allowances. Do you pay them for chores, that kind of stuff? So I'm hoping by going through this course to be able to better answer some of those questions, and yeah, and just have hopefully a better relationship established. And as you know, materialism has got such a huge impact on children these days, you know. So I'm hoping to have them on this call eventually. I'm traveling today. I was hoping they'd be on, but they haven't joined yet. So
All right, very cool. How old are your children?
12 and 14.
12 and 14, perfect. So Fashid, something that's very interesting. I used to live in Reno, and I'm also my birth name is Fashid too. So what are the chances of two Fashids living in Reno? So that
actually Candy Fife mentioned that she used to live there.
Yes, yeah, I figured that's who was the person that connected. So very great to have you. If you like, we would love to, if your children would like to participate, which we encourage them to. As you can see, we have young ones participating in the program, and it is appropriate. We will make sure that everyone engages. I would love to create even worksheets for them. So they have their own worksheets, but I'll leave that totally up to you. You can use the registration form from before, and they can register themselves as well and participate from next week.
Okay. Thank you.
Great to have you here. All right. Very good. Let's see. I think we're just coming to a close. if anybody else, I mean, I know we have several friends who did not get a chance to introduce themselves. I know not everyone is open for that. Some people are shy, but in the last few minutes that we have, we can open it. If not, we can close if there are any questions or anything.
So the next session is next Friday, is that correct?
Correct, yes. So the sessions are every Friday, 7:15 West Coast time. We don't have anybody from East Coast, but yeah, 7:15 to 8:15 every Friday night for the next 12 weeks.
Oh, perfect. And then the Zoom number is going to be the same, and the Google Docs address is going to be emailed out.
Yes, yeah. So I already emailed that to you. I know I've tried to even text you, try to connect with you through text, didn't get a response. And everything was already emailed, but you did get the Zoom link, which is on your calendar, I assume.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
so
okay.
let's connect outside of this. I'll put my number in there so you have it. You can send me a text, and then we'll make sure you get everything that you need.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. Daniel, you have your hand up. Go ahead, please.
What's a debit?
Oh, what's a debit? You're too advanced for me, buddy. So a debit is, let me just send this to Fashif so he has it. So a debit has a lot of different meaning. The most dangerous one is when we owe somebody. When we owe somebody something, that means that we have a debt and we have a debit in there. But then also you might see like a little card that your parents probably have whenever they go to the bank. To a bank, they use that card to get money out of the bank or do something. So that is like a debit card. But we'll get into that more later on too. All right. Anybody else with any questions for now? All right. Well, it's a great pleasure having you all here. We'll end it here tonight. And then look forward to, I will send out again reminders for the assignments. Make sure that everybody does their assignment. Remember, it's so important to do assignments because that's how we learn. And throughout the week, we'll be in touch through either WhatsApp or if you have any questions on email, don't hesitate in shooting us a question and we'll be more than happy to help you. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night to everyone on our side of the world. And then you guys in Africa, have a great day. And we'll see you guys all next week.
Thank you.
I will stay on if anybody has any question beyond, but I just wanted to end it.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week.